Hola, hola, ¿qué tal? First, thanks for giving me the opportunity and also thanks for watching. I'm Gabriela, a Spanish teacher. I've been teaching Spanish for about 5 years, and thanks to my experience, I decided to create this YouTube channel to help students who want to start learning Spanish or improve their skills. So if you are one of these, you are in the right place. All right. This is my first video and we are studying 2025. As you can see in the title of this video, today we're going to talk about what we should know to learn Spanish in 2025. I will tell you what the most important topics are, and I will also give you many tips, all this from my experience. You are free to follow my advice or follow your own or merge them. Today, I brought you 4 key topics to focus on. Number 1, basic grammar foundations. Start with essentials like reading. Come on, when we learn a new language, we need to learn the pronunciation. And we have a phrase in Spanish, we say, we read how we write. Basically, when you learn the Spanish alphabet, you can hear that we only have one sound per letter, and that's the unique sound always. Okay, it's not like in English that maybe a letter can have more than one sound. No, in Spanish you don't have this, so I think it's much easier when listening. Next one, gender. In Spanish, gender is in everywhere and maybe one of the most important things to learn. Everything. Open your eyes and see around everything. All the nouns have a gender. The shirt, the ceiling, the wall, the closet, everything has a gender. And if we learn new vocabulary, I recommend you to learn it with a gender, okay? Because then that makes easier the learning. Also, not only the nouns, you can also learn the adjectives because they always, you know, they need to agree in gender and number. So do that. Articles are really, really good because sometimes we have words in Spanish that where the gender can be confusing, but the article help us to know the real gender of the word. And of course, for many other things, they are helpful. Adverbs. We have so many good vocabulary when studying adverbs. They are really good, recommended. I also recommend to learn numbers because, well, numbers are also in everywhere. And for example, money, dates, time, very important, right? Also learn verb conjugations. Verb conjugations can be a bit difficult, okay, because there are so many. You will see, this is a big difference. But they are really, really good, of course. And just be patient, okay? And also, I recommend you to start with a ser and start because those two verbs, the verb to be in English, ser and start in Spanish, are two verbs that you're gonna use a lot every day. So, really good verbs to start with. Number 2, vocabulary themes. Focus on useful vocabulary categories like greetings, of course, travel phrases, everyday objects, and your job. This is one that I always recommend because if you are, for example, studying Spanish because of your job, you need to know vocabulary about it, right? So um, focus on these phrases that you normally say every day at your job and try to try to say them in Spanish and always study them and make them part of your day. Remember that repetition is the key. You don't need to learn 20 or more new words every day. I think 5 is enough. But the important thing is that you don't forget these new words. This is what I always recommend to do. For example, imagine that we learn a new word. This word is the word árbol, tree. The first thing I need to know is the gender of this word. What is the gender of árbol? The gender is masculine, okay? And also the number, singular or plural. In this case is singular. So, okay, once I know this, better if I always add the article of this object. Um, I mentioned it before, but remember, every time you learn new vocabulary, please learn it with the article because then your brain um, memorize this, and when you need to say it, it's much easier. Then your brain works faster somehow. So okay, so you have árbol, it's masculine, it's singular. I have the article that it's el if I want to say the tree. Okay, specifically I want to say the. So in this case, el. Then we have an adjective, add a description of this. Okay, any description. Well, in this case, I can say I want to say the green tree. Okay, so remember adjectives in Spanish need to go after the object. So in this case, el árbol verde. Let's add something else. Let's add a verb. Then I want to say the tree is green, right? So what's the verb here we need? Es. Okay, it's a very simple phrase. You don't need to do this for all the vocabulary, but it's a really good exercise. Why? Because knowing the gender of the object, knowing the article of the object, and adding a description, it also makes your vocabulary bigger, okay? And also it makes you to remember like the structure of the sentences. So imagine now here we have a simple structure but very useful for the future. Imagine now I don't want to use verde. I want to say el árbol es bonito o el árbol es grande. So I am using the same phrase but changing descriptions. Well, remember this, the structure at some point after repeating, you will get it. You will remember this. So say the same phrase, the same object in a different context or with a different description. And then again, that makes you to remember more things and also to think faster because it's not easy, but seriously, the thing we need to do is to not think in English or in the language but think first in Spanish, okay? Basically, what it makes is to speak faster, okay? But again, do not rush, see? Number 3, listening and speaking. I know, listening and speaking can be so difficult, but imagine you know all this grammar, all this vocabulary, and then when you need to speak, or you need to watch a movie or something, a meme or an Instagram, and then, oh, what is saying? You don't know. Okay, I recommend you to practice at least 15 or 20 minutes every day, okay? But what I recommend is that you find a topic that you are passionate about. This will motivate you to do it every day. Of course, the audio must be in Spanish. If you want to add the subtitles, good. Find a topic that you like. If you don't like a topic, seriously, you are not going to be interested. I will tell you very quickly about my experience learning English. For me, speaking was very difficult. I felt like I was too slow and I didn't have much vocabulary. So I started watching makeup tutorial videos and reality shows because it was entertaining for me. And that's how I learned English. My point is find something you like and learn with it. I recommend this TV show, Modern Family. They talk about the daily life of a family. Good vocabulary, it's entertaining. There we have Sofia Vergara. She has a characteristic accent and also she talks about Colombian culture. We all love her. It's a really good show. And talking about culture, that is my next and last topic. Number four, cultural insights. Learning the culture behind the language is just as important. Learning about the music, tradition, and even cooking. Come on, I love talking about food. I can talk about food for hours. So, with this, you can connect more deeply with the Spanish speakers and you will always have something to talk about. See? Yeah, seriously. Food, you always have conversation with it. Right. I will share with you some topics that help me. First, find a topic you are passionate about to practice listening, speaking, and gaining vocabulary. Remember, this is good. If you don't like something, you're gonna lose the interest. As simple as that. So find something that you always say, "Oh yes, I found this podcast or this app that is helping me a lot. It's good. I'm willing to do it every day." Perfect. That is one you need to do. Set realistic goals and celebrate small wins. For example, I would say, okay, in a month, I need to know this topic. Okay. And the next month, I need to already know how to conjugate a simple present, for example. So in 3 months, I should know how to introduce myself, how to go to the restaurant and order. For example, okay, consistency and repetition are key. Practice a little every day. Again, you don't need to learn for hours every day. You just need to learn for 20 or 30 minutes every day, and that is enough. Even if you learn less than that, that is okay. But the thing is that that time is productive, okay? That you are really understanding and you remember, okay, what you just learned. What topics are you most excited to focus on? Let me know in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Spanish learning tips. And thank you again for joining me today. Remember, learning Spanish is a journey, not a race. Take it one step at a time, and by the end of 2025, you'll be amazed at how far you've come. See you in the next video. Hasta luego.